Hi, I'm Brian Peterson for Videomaker Magazine. It's been about 5 years since Canon first introduced the 7D. Now it's out, the 7D Mark II, and there are some very important differences with this camera that I think you're going to be very impressed with. We were. First of all, the autofocus actually works very well in movie mode. That's been a real tricky thing for especially DSLR manufacturers to really give us that autofocus assist in the way that we want to use it as a video camera. The next is the 1080p uncompressed video output over HDMI to an external recorder. And it now has 60p, something that other cameras have had for a while, but it's now 60p capable, so that nice slow-mo is capable with this camera. And one thing that was really missing on this camera in the past was the fact it didn't have a headphone jack, so you couldn't monitor your audio. Well, all that's changed now. Let's take a look at some of the exterior differences of this camera over the 7D. On the back, the often accessed menu button moved to the premium upper left corner position where it's a lot easier to press, and the quick control moved to where the light sensor used to be. The info button replaced the RAW plus JPEG button, and there is a new rate button that gives you the option to rate stills from 1 to 5 or to protect images from deletion. An AF area selection lever now surrounds the multi-controller, and the picture style selection button has a new look as it also gives you quick access to multi-exposure and HDR features. The LCD remains 3 inches, but it is a bit sharper with 1.04 million dots and is bright enough to use outside as long as you're not in direct sunlight. But unfortunately, it remains non-articulating and is not a touchscreen. Again, the 7D didn't have that either. It just would have been a nice feature to try to get to low or high angle shots. That articulating screen can come in handy. On the left side, Canon added the much anticipated uncompressed 1920 by 1080p HD output via HDMI, along with a previously absent headphone jack. Now, the headphone jack might seem like a small deal, but you know, if you're really trying to get control of your audio, you have to be able to monitor what's being recorded. They also added a very useful cable protector socket that helps you from accidentally yanking out cables. The digital terminal is now SuperSpeed USB 3.0. The card slots are on the right, and the 7D Mark II now sports an extra slot for SD cards. That means you can both write simultaneously to both cards for instant backup. You can also write to both cards in succession for just longer recording times. Not much has changed on the front except for the depth of field preview button is now on the lower left near the lens mount instead of on the lower right, and it's a little bit larger and easier to press. The mode dial retains the 3 custom shooting modes as well as bulb, manual, AV, TV, and program modes, but the full auto and creative auto of the 7D have been combined into one scene intelligent auto mode. Now, the big news on the 7D Mark II is the vastly improved autofocus system. We're going to spend some time looking at that. What really shines about the autofocus is the amount you can customize the AF settings. Canon gives you control over tracking sensitivity with 5 levels from locked on to responsive. This gives you very detailed control over how the AF will respond during panning or when the subject slips out of the frame momentarily. We tested the AF using several different subjects under different lighting conditions and camera moves. For the first series, we used the Case 1 versatile multi-purpose preset that puts the tracking sensitivity in the neutral position and the accelerate-decelerate tracking and the AP point switching to 0. We started outdoors during midday and did a simple pan from a pose from about 3 feet away to a pile of rocks about 15 feet away. The AF responded moderately fast, but very accurately and with absolutely no hunting. We then positioned the camera at the corner of a chain-link fence to see how the AF would continuously track a pan from near to far and far to near. The results were at least as good, if not better, than we probably could have done manually, even with a skilled focus puller. To test the face detection and tracking function of the AF, we had a subject walk briskly toward the camera from a distance of about 30 feet to 6 feet. The 7D Mark II gives you a green tracking indication of just the face that's incredibly fast responding and accurate. We then went into a dark 1,700 square foot workshop with only some daylight coming through one door opening to test the AF response in low light, and tilted down from a nearly pitch black rafters to a wall filled with tools. Now, here we finally ran into some hunting, in fact, some serious hunting, but you know, even this probably was a little better than we might have done manually. Just after sunset, we switched to the Case 3 AF preset that instantly focuses on subjects suddenly entering the AF points. We panned from a rose about 8 feet away to one about 20 feet away. But we couldn't fool the 7D Mark II. It focused quickly and accurately on our subject. Of course, with the flip of a switch on the lens, you can still focus manually. We really liked the zoom function that made it quick and easy to check our focus. Now, we did miss having other focus assists like peaking or false colors, but hey, with AF this good, you really can't complain. And now let's take a look at some additional image tests taken with the Canon 7D Mark II.